hours after 40 hours of pow working, and then you finally get 2 straight days off. You're like, oh my God, avante. I worked a lot, but my energy's still high. Like I'm on like this energy high. Why am I on an energy high lately? Just because all of a sudden I am so free. I'm free. Like I am so free in the mind. Like the freest thing that happened to me was when I finally decided yesterday I was never going to let anybody put me down anymore. And just like, and when I decided, you know what, I don't let a mind game or anybody like make me feel bad. I want you to stand up to bullying in all shapes and forms in this lifetime. Just do it. And you will be happier for it. And all the stuff I've learned recently is nobody is awkward, okay? Nobody is awkward. I know they like to propagate this mythology, this social construct that some people are more socially graceful than others. But a lot of it's a social construct. Just get out there, talk to people. I mean, don't be intrusive, don't be rude, but be okay being you. You have one life to live, and a lot of this stuff is made up social construct. Yes, in certain groups, some people might be considered more captivating, but the people that go around telling other people they're awkward are the awkward ones. Like, they're the ones I'm like, gee, how awkward are you guys? And I just feel like lately, I'm just on this quest to live my best and most fullest life. And I'm going to start that by making a salad. I also think I'm going to stop listening to a lot of people and their comments on food because I know what I like. And this is one thing I don't really care for. It's the anti-vegan crowd who's like, oh, like, okay, I want to show you something. Look, I have like Impossible like sausage in my fridge. Oh, but that's processed. Do you know how to read? The main ingredient is soy protein, and that's fine for you. There's nothing wrong with it. Protein's okay. It's not the only thing I eat. What else do I have in my cabinet? Oh, I have lettuce. I have tomatoes. I have lots of other objects or items. Let me find what else I have. Oh, I have a can of vegetarian refried beans as well. So, I have a variety of food in my cabinets. I need to go deep into my cabinets and start eating it. I found some sauces from Cardenas from 2 years ago, pre-pandemic stuff, and I'm like, some of it's near the expiration date. It's time to go into the depths of my cabinet and start cooking with food. But anyway, my whole point is, I think we need to maybe just, it's okay to like indulge in some social media, but sometimes I think you just need to keep in mind, just like with real life, the opinion factory is always opinionated. There's always going to be somebody that says, this is good, that's not good. And sometimes you just need to do what's fun and happy and healthy. And the most happy thing you can do, that's the least awkward, by the way, is living your own life and never putting anyone down in any way. You're shining. You're not awkward in any way. Anybody that's on this earth that lives, that wants to have a conversation with anybody, who's happy to be alive and smiles, you're not awkward. I just want you to know that about you. I really do. The truth will set you free. And that is truth. That's the biggest truth you'll ever live. I realize, like, we need to stand up to bullying in all shapes and forms. Like, I know people say that they do, but we don't really stand up to bullies. Sometimes we let bullies in who seem like they have good intentions. You don't want any bullying in your life. You want to get rid of all the bullies, any naysayers, anybody who's negative. Learn to cancel them out, That's what I say. Do what makes you happy. So few people do. How many people have true happiness in their life? True, robust, full-throttle happiness where they're just actually feeling good and enjoying their day. It's quite rare. It's very rare. And yeah, sometimes when you are happy and you feel content, there's people that want to steal your joy. They want to steal your happiness. They want to make you feel self-doubt the way that they do. Anybody who's a secure person doesn't go around doing that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to act humble. When I say somebody should act humble, I'm not saying anybody has to act humble or obeisant to someone else. What I mean by that is you need to stop acting like you're the big enchilada all the time. Like some people think they go out there and they say, yeah, like I'm the best and I'm so good, and like they do little things and they play little mind games. The mind games are the thing that's the problem. Like the people that do that. I don't think most people are doing that, but we all know some people out there do that. They love the mind game. The mind game gives them some sort of gratification, but that's because they refuse to look within themselves to figure out what it is that's missing on the inside. In fact, every time, like when somebody's a mind game player, they'll usually say, I don't really do any self-introspection. Yeah, you don't. Because once you do self-introspection, you are free. Life is short, life is happy, life is robust, and I don't have time for people who think that they have every thing on lockdown and who change with the wind. I like people who like me for being me and you for being you. That's all. Gosh, I get deep thoughts when I'm making salad. I don't know. I just do. I really do. So that's another reason I don't really comment on a lot of other people's YouTube videos. Like maybe a few people I know, I will comment on theirs, and very limited Facebook commenting, like bare minimum bones. Like I only look at a few people's pages. If people knew on Facebook how few accounts I look at, it'd probably be like, oh, that's weird. But no, that's just how I do it. I don't scroll to Facebook. I realize I kind of look at YouTube maybe more in a way than some people do. Like I search certain things, but then sometimes I get recommended stuff and I'm like, I don't know, this is not really for me. I don't know why YouTube thinks that I like that. It's probably because I searched something of a similar topic is what I think. Because some things are just a little okay, that's not really for me, YouTubes. Thanks anyway, I guess. But I just want people to be happy. I feel like the more you build people up in a more authentic way, the happier you'll be. And authentic building up is where it's at. Anybody who's ever made you have any self-doubt on any occasion for any reason, X them out of your life in any way you can. Get them out. Don't talk to them. If you happen to see them, look past them. Look around them. Let's say you have to see somebody who just kind of did you wrong, and you know that you don't want to see that person. Find a way to look around them. I know some people say, but that's avoidant. But not really. This is my take on it. Who wants to have to deal with somebody who doesn't treat you like you're wonderful and doesn't treat you like a good person? My opinion. If it's a family member, this might sound really horrible. If it's a family member, I would almost say you just cut ties with that person. And look, I advocate for being close with family members and all that, but not if it's so bad that, I just finally learned one day, you sometimes have to cut ties with people that are never, going to work on themselves, who are never going to be happy, who might have issues, but they choose, okay? They select. They know that they need help, but they are making a selective effort to never do anything to improve their life. Another thing is, people are not stepping stones in life. No experience with somebody should be a stepping stone. Anytime someone says that, they're so wrong. There's no life experience. There's no person that should be treated as a stepping stone. Being in a relationship doesn't mean that your life is moving forward. In some ways, it means that maybe you've regressed a bit, because I know a lot of people, they need that status of being in the relationship, but they're so scared of being alone. They couldn't be a single person for 3, 4, 5 years on their own, paying their own bills, navigating the world on their own, and looking and holding out for a happy and healthy relationship. They just cling to the one person that they think will give them that status, because being in the status relationship is more important than actually being happy. And those are always the people that complain like a lot. But I really don't even care either, because I'm like, I don't think being in a relationship means that you're with somebody really or actually happy. Like, there's a lot of people in relationships, all they do is complain about their significant other. And I'm like, aren't you guys together? Aren't you supposed to be happy? Don't you have this life together? But it doesn't sound like you're ever happy. It sounds like you're always upset about something. Like, and I just start to think after a while, okay, so you're with that person, but you don't even seem to like respect them or care about them, blah, blah, blah. So like, to some of us who don't just settle, like who don't define life progress as a relationship status, I don't know. Like, to me, I just have had like this year, I've had skyrocketing like personal progress in my life based on myself. It's not based on a relationship status. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't get it, because being in a relationship isn't indicative of progress in your life. It can be a sign of regression. Yeah, a big sign of regression. But honestly, I just don't even care. Like, personally, if I'm in a relationship, it has to be somebody that's really good, very local, very compatible with me. Like, I would never again put up with put down committees and people who play little mind games and people that can't like acknowledge you in the light of day. Like, that's everything. And anybody that talks bad about you behind your back, like, no. So yeah, like, I don't know. I don't even know why I talk about the relationship experience on here. I just think, okay, so a lot of people get real happy when they see couples on YouTube, right? And then like the couples have a breakup later. And they're like, oh, there were problems in our relationship. But we continue to do videos together for you guys, so you could follow our couples journey. And then people are real upset. They're like, oh, but you guys were couple goals. Nobody should be your couple goals, okay? That meant that you were looking to them like for some sort of status. If you have a relationship, it should be more just between you and not the world, Like, even if I was in a relationship, I don't think I would be putting my relationship on YouTube, Like, I talk about hair. I talk about some dating experiences, but I never talk like about specific people I saw or anything like that. Like, my videos are never about specific people, because that's just weird. Like, that would be weird, I had a guy once tell me he thought videos were about him, and I'm like, actually, they weren't. Like, okay, that was weird too. I've just had a lot of weird experiences, like with this guy that stalked my YouTube or something. Like, he kind of stalked me, and yeah, it was weird. And I don't know if he stalked me because he would tell me that he looked at my video. And I don't care if you watch my videos. I really don't care. But the fact that you would seek them out and say something about them and not just have a conversation with me and stuff, kind of weird. I don't know. Like, just weird experiences. But I don't really care. This is part of the reason I'm like, yeah, with all that kind of stuff, like, who can trust some men? I'm not saying all women can be trusted either, but who can trust some men? Like, maybe I do have a few trust issues after all that. Honestly, a little bit, yeah. But I don't even know like why I'm talking about this. It's just kind of something that's on my mind. A lot of people are single, and I think they feel like it's something that means that they're not evolving somehow in life. But that's weird, because there's people that were single all of their lives and they did amazing things. Their life progress wasn't tied to their marital status or their relationship status. Your life progress is tied to your own personal growth. I mean, some people in relationships, I think, well, maybe their significant other's making progress, but they're certainly not. I mean, that's about all I can say about that. Like, I have seen, oh, okay, so your significant other has made a lot of progress in life and they like kind of support you or something. Is that it? I mean, that's kind of what I think about people who tell me things like that. I don't know. But anyway, I just feel like it's really good. Like, I kind of wanted to explore topics like that, because I feel like people tell single people they're not allowed to talk about that. You're not allowed to say that. And I'm like, okay, so you're the dictator of life? I don't know. I'm too nice to. I've been always too nice to people. And being nice to people can often be to your detriment, because when you're a nice person and you treat people well, like you're gonna kind of be, I hate to say it, but I realized what it was. You're just kind of like gonna be somebody who's gonna be targeted by people that might not have good intentions because they think, well, she's not going to be the kind of person that would say anything to me or make a big deal or a big fuss about it. I mean, I do stand up for myself, but I would never like make a public example of somebody who treated me like kind of rude, like just was rude to me. I don't care anymore. And then nothing really bad ever happened to me. I've never had like a super bad experience. I've just had like the narcissist experience, and I'm like, bah, I don't like narcissists, man. Narcissists are not that great. I know like a lot of people love the narcissistic mind game, but I just like, oh no. No thank you. No thank you. I don't like it. So that's all. But I think this is the last time I ever want to talk about narcissists, because I think I've kind of like I've really examined the full depth of their bad behavior. That's all. And I'm really glad I have, actually, because it gives you a lot of closure that you could never get from the narcissist. You're never going to get closure from a narcissist, by the way, because they can't give it to you. They don't even know their own mind. Like, that's another thing about a narcissist that's kind of interesting. They don't even know what they want out of life. They just know that they want attention. And they just know that they need to have it from many different people and sources. And yeah, so you're never going to get closure from a narcissist. Like, a narcissist will never feel sorry for the ways that they treat other people. They just don't. Like, they're happy. They feel generally good with whatever they do. And everything they do is pretty okay with them. But you have to ask yourself, is it pretty okay with you? Like, are you okay pandering to that? Personally, I'm not. I'm not okay always pandering, to that. But that's just my thoughts on it, you know? Anyway, I'm supposed to be making a salad. Salad. Like, I am supposed to be making a salad, buddy. Yeah, my thoughts on all that stuff, all that good stuff. Like, your thoughts on life? I don't know. Like, where are we going in this whole world, you know? Are we getting more spammers that are in the chat now? Spam, comment in the chat, that's fun. Anyway, lots of that good stuff, I guess. You know, I just want to be a YouTube live stream without a spam comment. Okay, so this is my whole analysis of like just how people should treat each other well. Zero mind games. Zero nada mind games, okay? This is how I feel friendship, relationship, everything. Like any kind of meaningful interaction where you choose. Well, let me put it this way. Like my friend once, like when he was on a business trip, like we got together and we were talking about this, and he goes, I was asking him, you're not friends with your work colleagues? And he said, no. He goes, I can be friends with you, but I can't be friends with my work colleagues because they're not open-minded about things. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Like you work with them. But I think, okay, so there's people in life that you have to interact with. Like some family members you might have to still interact with. Some like people, like if you work with them, you might have to interact with them. But then when it comes to friends and like romantic relationships, there's no contract there. That is not something where you're obligated, unless you're in some culture where you have an arranged marriage. I don't know. But most people these days are not obligated to interact with friends, like certain friend groups and certain romantic relationships. So to me, this is what I think. In order to be friends with somebody, you have to be consistent every single day. There has to be a consistency across the board. Like if you are of the mindset that you think like one day you can kind of be nice to someone and then the next day you're playing little games with them, I don't think you really want to be friends with that person. I think you need to be honest with yourself, and instead of saying like, "Oh, like it's bad timing," blah blah blah. No, just be honest. Like I don't know. Like I don't really understand the mind of the narcissist. The narcissistic mind, they're gonna be thinking differently. Like they just kind of cycle people in and out. They have no consistency really. And they don't even have any opinions or interests of their own. Like I don't know, like, well, there's one guy, he wasn't even a narcissist, but he told me recently that he liked painting, but then, like, and he saw that I painted, and then he said he wanted to come to my house and paint with me, okay? I mean, and I said, do you really, though? Like, I questioned him about it. He goes, oh, yeah, I want to learn how to paint because I went to Michael's and I bought the paints. And I said, do you really? He goes, I'm going to pick out a picture and we're going to paint. I'm kind of glad he forgot about that because I didn't really believe him at all. Like, I was like, I don't believe you. Like, you've never had an interest, because he also said that sometimes if his friends like something, he liked it too. And I was like, what? So you like something because your friends like it. That's not liking something, you know? That's just taking on the interest of someone else. And I think narcissists kind of do that. Like, they see somebody talking about something. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be stamp collecting. And somebody has a passion for stamp collecting. So all of a sudden, you have a passion for stamp collecting. But I don't even care really. Like, if that opens you up to new interests, good. It's whatever it is. I want to show you something about peeling. I do not, like, some people think you should peel towards yourself, but I think that's dangerous. I'm like, who? Well, like my mom used to say, when you peel potatoes, you need to peel them towards yourself. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. So when I was a kid, I taught myself to peel away from myself because I have so much dexterity to do that. And people are like, you can't peel away from yourself. And I'm like, watch me. Look at this. I can peel a cucumber very well away from myself. You see that? I have a lot of like dexterity with my hands, and I'm very coordinated like that. But yeah, I can do it very well. See? It's almost like art, really. I mean, you could eat the cucumber skin, but I prefer not to because it's not organic produce. So I take off the skin, the cucumber, my personal preference. But then we don't take off the skin of the tomato. But I don't know. I don't really like cucumber skin, though. But then I like eggplant skin. I'm funny like that, right? And I also give the cucumber a rinse. Like, I know it's water-based, but I just rinse it off again. Makes me feel better. Then I take some of the lemon, I put in my water. I'm going to put it in the salads. Okay. So I don't know, like, why I got all, like, kind of passionate earlier just talking about different things. I just think, like, yeah, I have learned, like, these past few months to really value the way I'm thinking and to know the validity of my thoughts and not to apologize for how I feel, because all my life, like, other people would tell me what they thought. And I'm thinking, you know what? Your thoughts are valid, too. That's what I realized, you know? Actually, I think, but here's another thing. When it comes to narcissists or narcissism or whatever kind of thing, in the future, like if somebody just isn't polite to me from the very beginning, I just need to be more like these people who don't talk to them ever again. Like, rule of thumb. If somebody's just rude to you, like, or they're just kind of odd and they're waffling, if they come back later, there's just no second chance in this lifetime with me. You had your one little chance, okay? That's it. That's all you get. Once your one chance has been like, it showed me that you weren't very valid or very serious. I just don't take you serious, you know? It doesn't matter if it's a friendship or like, okay, I know some people are like, but things like people sometimes make plans and they have to cancel. I'm sorry, but if you said that you wanted to do something with me and then you cancel, that tells me it's not good enough for you. That there was something else that came up at the last minute that was better. And you felt like my time, like I was somebody you could just cancel on. So I'm like, okay, if you think that, then I just would never talk to you again. Like I would just go quiet until the night. I really do that. Like some people are like, well, why do you do that? Why aren't you just more flexible and chill? Because I think chill is fake. I know some people are like, but being chill is so good. I think chill is the new repressed. I really do. And that's what I truly believe. I know in California, people want to be chill, but it's not really truthful because a lot of the times when people are pretending to be chill, like I'll see something deeper that's kind of disturbing. And I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of this. Like there'll be just something about the way that they interact with people that you can just kind of tell it's not really who they are. Just like, okay, Midwesterners like to be kind of more grounded and down to earth and just kind of like family. Like they did. I mean, maybe in larger Midwestern cities, it's no longer that, but Midwestern people just tend to be like kind of grounded and down to earth. Whereas Californians, like a lot of them, being chill is really important to them. They mention words like meditation and yoga, even though they don't really understand how those things actually work. Like some people might actually know how to do yoga, but they really don't. And I'm not trying to bag on meditation. Like some people, they really get it. But other people, like, they're just saying these things. It's kind of like a buzzword, like, oh, well, so and so does that, so I have to do that. So at that time, I'm just like, okay, is this you or is this just something that you're doing because other people are doing it? You know? Like, whereas I don't feel like I need to meditate. I just like, I can think and I can go for a walk and I can draw a picture. Like, I make up my own things that I want to do. I don't need to, like, I have interests that other people might like, but if I don't feel like doing something that everybody else is doing, like, I don't need to watch Star Trek and Star Wars. Honestly, I think I don't like Star Trek and I don't like Star Wars. I really thought Star Wars and Star Trek kind of should just all go float away into the sky or something. Like, I don't care. But some people would be like, but Star Wars is like American cultural experience that you have to understand. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. That's my reaction to it. Because there's a lot of things that I feel that are so much better, but most people wouldn't want to do or participate in those hobbies. So anyway, those are just my thoughts and all that. Those are just my thoughts on all that. Wipe up the floor a bit. So yeah, I've just been really free recently and like freeing myself of realizing that anything I think and feel is super valid. And I never did like it when people talk bad about people behind their backs. And I hate, like, I don't like gossip and just people being not kind behind someone's back, just being like hurtful, really. Like, I don't think, like, I think this is what I think about gossip. I think if you have to say something bad about somebody behind their back, that says a lot about you. Why do you have to go talk bad about someone behind their back? Why don't you just stop? Like the minute somebody's like kind of having to tear someone apart behind their back, why don't you stop what you're doing and like, I don't know, do something constructive, learn Arabic. Like something like that. I know I talk about life experiences, but also too, one of the fun things about those things is I kind of learned that person would talk bad about people behind their back. And I was like, oh, because they would say things about other people behind their back to me. And I was like, if they do that to them behind their back. I know they do that about me behind my back. And it's just kind of like, ew. I don't know. I didn't like it. So I truly think it's just time in 2022 to never give those kind of like interactions the time of day. That's what I truly believe. 2022 is the year of being happy and being scrappy and being free of all of that. It really truly is. It's the year that you can be proud of who you are as a human being. Know that you're not awkward. Know that you're precious. Know that you have a life purpose. Maybe it's not exactly like everybody else's life purpose, but that doesn't invalidate your life purpose. You know? These are my truths for the year 2022. I don't know what your truths are, but I truly believe that everybody has a life purpose, that everybody has a reason to be on this earth. I just say, if you've ever had an experience where something felt hurtful or just kind of rude to you, just know that wasn't you. It's not your fault. When somebody does that, I know some people are like, well, I need to take like constructive feedback and I need feedback. But a lot of times that feedback is hot air. Not all feedback is helpful. I kind of learned that pretty early on, actually. And then like a teaching experience, because like I didn't like teaching, and I was like wanting to be a student teacher, and I was taking these courses, and I wasn't really good at managing kids. But anyway, there were 4 different like teachers and like this one like teaching assistant. They all had different ideas about how you should do the lesson and what they thought would be the best. And then 3 of them were like conflicting each other, and one of them was kind of giving sort of good feedback. But this is what I was starting to notice. Like, I even talked to my mom about it. I said, I don't really think I want to be in this profession because I'm having classroom management difficulties. So that was part of the reason I didn't want to do it. But also, too, I was just like, if you do end up getting feedback, like you get different feedback from different people and it's contradictory. And basically what we were beginning to see is everybody has a different idea about what works best because everybody has a different take on the world. So this is why I don't always think like, yes, maybe if you're trying to write a play or a book or something, some constructive feedback might help you, but just like in life, it's not really all that good because so many people have different ideas about what's good, what's valid. And it just seems like you could be chasing the wind. And sometimes you just have to decide one day, does this feel right to me? Am I happy doing this? Do I enjoy, like, look, some people want to make a steak for dinner. Do I make steak on my channel? No, because steak doesn't sound good to me. I'm making a yummy, yummy salad. And I'm portioning it. I might do more food prep too, I'm thinking. But I kind of want to portion out my salads so they're a little bit more even with all the ingredients. I want to chop up more ingredients. Like, is this mega food prep? Kinda. So yeah, just my opinion on all these things is sometimes you just have to do what's best for you, man. Like, you just have to make the life choice that'll make you the happiest, not everybody else. Because everybody has an opinion about something or other. I don't know. There's as many opinions as the day is long, right? Or the day is short, or however you want to view it, I guess you could say. Sometimes you just have to do what's best for you, I think. We can't always please everybody. So I kind of learned it's better to try not please anybody. It's better to just please yourself. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to help people in the future, not be kind. But I just don't even see the point of trying to please other people when that's futile, because like I said, once again, a lot of this stuff shifts with the wind. It's very temperamental. A lot of people are all over the place. They aren't very consistent, like from day to day, like they want different things. And if you're just living your life trying to, I guess this could also coalesce into YouTube as well, because like same with YouTube, like some people, like they want to please the YouTube algorithm, but who knows on a daily basis what that is or what it really wants. It's basically just based on whatever's trending, right? That can be very temperamental too. I think everything can be temperamental to some degree, you know? And then I guess the question is, do you want to always be like trying to make that happy or make other people happy? Or I don't know. I don't. I just want to make me happy. Like if you're happy in my presence and you're happy with like what I do and what I do resonates with you, then yeah, you know, stick around. If you're not, then I can't like try to be someone I'm not for you. And this has happened in friendships too. Okay. So this is where that kind of came down to where I was thinking about like friendships, like post COVID, post we can't really socialize anymore life. So like I have a friend and I always thought, you know, we were generally close and whatnot. But on New Year's Day, like she got mad at me because she was telling me like if we got together, we should share our symptoms and like we could wear face masks. And I was just starting to think, is it even safe for us to be getting together? I know some people like still socialize through COVID, but I really haven't like in person. I've seen my sister only and my family a few times and a couple other friends, but it was very limited for me, like what I've done. And that's probably why I didn't get it. And I know some people like to joke like, then you don't have friends. Oh, I have friends, okay. Maybe I just don't always need to go to big events, but yeah. And even if I do end up dating someone, I want somebody that has similar goals to me, that they don't want to go to big social events and they don't want to be eating in restaurants, because I think a lot of that is not such safe behavior anymore. Like it's a way you could get COVID. So anyway, like yeah. So my friend was just saying all these things and I said, you know, it sounds like you're kind of worried about getting COVID, and I am too. And I said, maybe we should just wait because I don't know. It just didn't sound that much fun. Like, if we have to worry about, like, I wear a mask at work and I wear a mask at home, but I guess if I want to see just one or two people that I know aren't going to be socializing with a lot of people, I want them to be someone I don't have to wear a mask with all the time. Because honestly, wearing a mask like all the time to me is a little depressing. And she just only said, oh, well, you're not being compassionate enough. And it ended up we had the Omicron outbreak the next week anyway. So I just chose that I thought maybe we shouldn't meet, but she just kind of got mad at me and she went off on me and she said that I didn't do this good enough and that I should come see her more. But then I said, wait, you don't really come see me either. And she'd be like, yes, but the person that drives shouldn't have to always be the one that comes and sees you. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I don't even know why you're mad at me when you don't come see me either. And it was just this weird back and forth. And I just was beginning to realize, like, okay. So I told her this. I said, you know, like, I kind of always thought it'd be fun to have a friend that I did YouTube with. Because there's some people that actually are friends and they do YouTube together. And I said, and I thought it would be fun to do, like, cooking videos or just something fun. And I know what she thinks about that. Like, she doesn't think that is as valid. Like, she'll watch YouTube, but it can only be like a big, like, personality kind of thing. And she just doesn't really want to do YouTube, which is fine. But it kind of changed me and how I view some of my friendships, because I kind of am at the point now. If you don't want to like be on a YouTube video with me, like, are we close friends? Like, why can't we do that together? Like, why can't we do something fun like that together? And I get everybody has their own comfort level, but I feel like if I did have a close friend, they would do that with me. That's sort of what I feel like. Because I have friends that I do collaborations with, like Kate and Aya, and we might not meet in person. We might be more like only friends that have met virtually, but I have friends I do collabs with. It's just not in person. So I started to think, well, if all these people who are my friends claim that they're such great friends, how come things that interest me are never like valid? Like, okay, I don't know. And it was kind of like, okay, it's like the hobby thing. Like I told her even the story about how I like to paint and that guy wanted to paint. And she said, what she said about him and being interested in me painting was kind of weird. She said, well, that's something that like retired people should do. Like any kind of hobby or interest I had wasn't as valid, whether it be reading books or I don't know. I just kind of got to the point like I don't feel like I should have to prove myself in friendships, you know? So a lot of friendships I feel like kind of just fade over time. And I would like to talk to her and try to talk to her about it, but that day she told me I had to just like listen to what she had to say, okay? And she just cut me off. So I thought, well, I don't want to argue with her. So I'll just leave her alone. I'll just leave her alone, you know? And I feel sad, like in a way, like I wish we could have a closer friendship, but I realized something about her. She's not the kind of person that's gonna jump in our car and come down and see me and like just want to hang out. It wasn't that kind of friendship. Like the friendship was predicated upon I could come see her, and yeah, that's just the way the friendship was, and so we were never going to do anything like based on my interests, but we could do something based on her interests. Like I like to hike too, but that was basically what we could do. We had to go to a location that she thought was more scenic for hiking. Like I don't know. So it's not that I don't want to talk to her anymore. I'm just like at the point that I feel like sometimes friendships fade in life. And I really value my sister and I value a few other friends, but just due to COVID and I don't think it going away. I know a lot of people are saying, well, I got the Omicron and somebody I knew had it and I got exposed, but I don't want to do that with this variant or the next one. So yeah, I'm being careful and I'm not doing a lot of super socializing. And if I do meet somebody that I date, they need to be pretty careful themselves too. You know, I don't want to meet people that take risks in life like that. Just my opinion. Like if you take risks and you eat in restaurants and go to social events, no, too risky. You need to be somebody who has a high risk aversion. Like I don't want to get a virus just because everybody thinks, well, I'm so sick of like isolating. I'm sick of it. It's time to get out there and do it all again. I'm like, really? We're just now coming down out of another Omicron outbreak. It's time to get out there again. I don't know. It's very scary because they might have got Omicron and now they're getting better, but are they going to keep getting each variant and spreading it around? It's never going to end. And so I do want to be friendly with people, but personally, just my personal opinion, I want to be kind of less social as well. You know, that's just kind of my take on all this is that the social aspect of like socializing needs to be less socially inclined. I'm probably sounds funny to people like, but how can you be less social? I don't know. I just feel like being less social kind of that's sort of my preference, you know? Alrighty. We need more ingredients for our salad. We need a purple onion for our salad. Then maybe we're going to do another live stream where we make a smoothie. This is where your eyes go blah, 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 blah. I hate the eye part. Cutting onions. I'm going to make a salad dressing for my salads, but first I think I'm going to stick them back in the fridge so that they can be happy campers, because I need to take a little bit of a break from food prep. And then I might come back and make a smoothie. Like, I want to get all the onion. It really bothers my eyes. Oh, my eyes. Okay. My eyes need a little bit of a breaky break. Onions can really get to your eyes, you know? Well, they get to my eyes. I mean, I love onions. Don't get me wrong. I love onions in a good salad. But cutting onion, that's a different story. Anyway, I'll probably be back with more little food preps later, you know? Anyhow, thanks for watching for a bit.